Is sponsored by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We've got our phone lines open. You can give us a call, 615-737-7767. And while we're waiting on a couple of calls to come in, we were talking earlier about spawning.
Yep.
And you brought a picture in tonight and said you wanted to kind of share it with everybody and show them what was going on. And we'll have Taylor pull that up. But you guys look at the tail on that fish right there.
Tail,
and when was this fish caught?
That was my big fish in the BFL. I ended up 4th place in that thing, and you know, I've seen on Facebook a lot of chatter about they're not spawning because of the temperature, and they are spawning. Well, that right there is a bloody tail of a spawning fish.
That's right. They ain't no denying.
Here's the deal.
Textbook right there.
Here's the deal about fish. They don't all run up and spawn at one time. They go in segments and waves and stuff. A lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the big difference in that.
Yep,
it is.
Yep, absolutely.
That's a pig right there. That's a
that
pig.
is. That's a beautiful fish.
Sir. It was, that would put some money in my pocket.
Well, we've got some callers here. Let's go on over here. I've got Taylor on one. Taylor, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing great.
I was wondering how much the crawfish boil was.
Oh, the crawfish boil. The crawfish boil is $25 a piece, and you can sign up for it on our Facebook page. There's a post that it's got it set up as an event, and on there we have it's a PayPal account, and you can go on there and pay for it through PayPal and get pre-signed up. We are doing pre-sign up only because we've got to be able to order the crawfish
and know exactly how much
how much we need to get. But if you'll just go to our Facebook page and go under events right there, you'll be able to find it. And there is a link under the description of the event.
Okay.
We'd love to have you out there.
Absolutely, everybody.
Everybody. Thank you for calling. Have a good night.
You too.
Who do we have on 2? Darren. Darren, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, guys. I just wanted to say I stopped in Nashville Marine today, and I talked to Dayton and I talked to Jamie, and I mentioned you guys to them, and I'd just like to give a shout out to them and say thank you for treating me like family today and talking to me and answering all my questions, and I look forward to seeing them again.
Well, that's what we're about up there, man. I'm about fishing, family, and trying to educate people about how to catch fish. A lot of people don't want you to know their spots or secrets. That's irrelevant to me.
That's right.
We got to pass it down. I can't keep it forever, and everybody else can't keep it forever. So that's what Nashville Marine's about, is quality customer service, friendship, and the truth, and we're going to take care of you the best we can. And if you have a problem, you please come to us. Don't spread stuff on Facebook. Come right to us. Let us know what your problem is so we can fix it, buddy. That's all we ask, is give us an opportunity to fix our mistake if we've made one.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Max, how are you doing tonight?
Good.
What's your question, Max? I know who this is. This is Maximum. What you got, buddy? Y'all been going to the pond?
No. This question's to Dayton, and where do the hybrids bite on Percy Priest Lake? Because I'm ready to go get them.
All right,
the hybrids bite on Percy Priest Lake.
Because he's ready to go get them.
Ready to get them.
They're biting in Subs Creek. They're biting at Old Hickory Boulevard. They're biting Mid-Lake. You just got to get out there and look. I mean, they're starting at
Bryant's Grove.
Bryant's Grove, and you know, the shad are spawning, the water's, you know, the shad are getting right. So there's some top water action. As soon as the lake comes back down and it gets back settled in, the minnows will be on the surface. You'll have a lot of top water action for another 2 or 3 weeks.
It's fun when that's going on.
And you know, you have to get out there early. It won't be a midday unless it's raining. You get a rainy day, then they'll come up in the middle of the day and stuff. But most time be morning and night, Max.
I'm ready.
All right, buddy, we'll go.
Me too.
Thank you for calling, buddy.
You too.
Ty, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. What about that turkey last week? Was it any count?
Oh man, it was pretty good from what I hear. he was just right.
Hey, look here. Have y'all heard any black-tailed deer up in the middle of Tennessee around Roberts County?
Did you say black-tailed deer?
Yes, sir.
No, I haven't heard of any. I mean, it's possible there could be something that got loose around there. I mean, there are a couple of game farms that are in that area, but I don't know of any blacktail being around there.
Well, where are the game farms at around here? Because I've been here 50 years, and I tell you what, yesterday evening, I went out on the backside of the farm and scanned my property line, and I want you to know, I saw a female. She was black on the her whole backside of her tail, and the front of her chest was solid black.
Huh. That almost sounds like it would just be an odd color-faced whitetail.
You think so,
because
really?
even your typical blacktail is not black like that, especially in the chest.
Okay, well,
so it's probably just a unique color pattern.
Pond, and there was maybe 50 acres, across the field over there. She throwed that tail up, and I mean the backside of her was black, and then when she turned, I could see black on her chest, and I thought, damn it, they're already down here.
That sounds like a unique deer. You ought to set a camera up, see if you can't get some pictures of it.
Well, I told the wife, I thought the same thing, and I had to stand at a little patch of woods. It was 30 acres, but it's getting to those woods and without scaring them going off in the pasture,
Yeah, that's the hard part usually, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Hey, how was that turkey you finally hit?
Oh, it was good. We actually haven't eaten that particular one yet, but I'm looking forward to having him. I believe he'll probably end up in our wild game dinner at the church this year.
There you go.
But
God
I've got
bless
a
y'all,
couple
and tell
more.
Hugh get his ass back next week.
We'll have to tell him to get back in here.
You got to get in here, Hugh.
God bless you.
Have a good night. All right. Jim, how are you doing tonight? Jim? Are you there, Jim? Okay, I think we lost Jim.
I think we did.
Bye, Jim.
All right, well, that's some good calls tonight.
Absolutely, yeah, man.
Everybody wanting to know what's going on with these fish. I mean, everybody's getting the fever,
itch.
man.
Well, it's rained for 5 weekends straight. I mean, you work all week and you want to go out fishing or go outside to do anything. You can't even put a garden in. You can't mow hardly or weed eat without getting the mower stuck. You know that.
It's been a mess, and like you say, a lot of us, we don't get a lot of free time except for on the weekend. It just seems like, a couple weeks ago, I think it was, you said, what's the #1 cause for a rainstorm, and that's a Saturday.
Yeah.
Speaking about free time, my boss said if I didn't get in earlier during the week, I might have a lot of free time.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
We might need to talk to David for you.
I don't know. I might,
Well, I tell you what, man, it ought to be a pretty week this coming week, it looks like, and I'm looking forward to having a few days where it's just dry.
Absolutely.
Like as you say, I mean, everybody knows I work in the outdoor industry, and a lot of folks do, and it's just hard on you when you work 2 or 3 days, and then you can't work 2 or 3 days, and then when you Saturday comes around, half the time you got to go work. It's rough. So it's going to be nice to have some good weather coming.
Sure.
I'm looking forward to that, and getting some fishing and hunting done both here, in the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
Anyway. But I tell you, what do we have this weekend? We have any tournaments this weekend?
Yeah, we got the Lions Club.
Lions Club is a big
Fishing
one.
for sight.
Yep, that's a good one.
Is that
Fate
free?
Sanders.
Fate Sanders, I thought it was.
It's the last weekend of April every year, last Saturday of April.
Well, that'd be good. They'll have a good turnout too.
And I tell you, I got to. I work in the music business, and I got to go out this weekend, and I won't get to fish it. I hate missing it, but that's always one of my favorite ones.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think they're guaranteeing $3 grand this year.
Is it? I know it's always a good. It's always a good payout.
Yeah.
So it's for a good cause also. It's great for a great cause.
Well, that'll be a good one to get out and fish. Anybody wants to get out Saturday,
and USA Bassin has their last one, I think, next weekend.
That's coming up. Yes, it is next weekend.
Next weekend, USA at Priest out of Fate Sanders.
Yeah.
They run a great circuit, guys. I mean, they're doing the best they can with what they got, and they've got a lot of good tournaments. The regional's going to be at Priest this year, so, you need to qualify for that. Go over and see all them guys and, get out. I mean, it's fixed to break. It's going to be all right.
It is.
We'll be all right.
It just seems, every time we come into spring for a few days, it goes back to winter. We revert back. But the thing is, the fish, the turkeys, whatever it is you're after, man, they live in it. That's what we have to keep in mind. It's just like, rainy days. Them fish is wet either way.
Absolutely. And you can still catch sauger and walleye. Right now is a great time to still be sauger and walleye fishing.
We were talking about Nathan earlier. Nathan Ball, he's been the last few weeks
catching the fire out of walleye and sauger. Absolutely. But, you got to get out there and get with it,
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is just getting after them.
Yes.
You know, and it's in getting after them anyway. If you go out there all day and don't catch nothing, it was better than it was working all day the day before. You
That's
know what
exactly
I mean?
right.
That's the way I see it.
That's exactly
I just
right.
want to get out there and drown a lure or two and or walk around and watch some grass grow in the field or something, you know, whatever it is.
That's right.
But that's, you know, that's not really that important as to whether they're how many fish you're catching. But I do think they'll probably have some pretty good sacks Saturday.
Yeah, and you know, something else
so.
everybody needs to think about. Some people ain't fished a lot this year. Make sure you got your fire extinguishers, your registration, your throw cushion, your life jacket. Just make sure you got everything ready for the year.
Yeah.
Just so there's no dilemmas or anything, and you're ready to roll. Check your boat out. Make sure everything's good.
Check your electronics.
Don't just wait till Saturday morning and dump it in. And you get out there and your batteries are dead, you know, you just got to take care of stuff.
We got another caller here. It's Scotty, how are you doing tonight?
Good, good. Hey, I'm just watching your program, and I love it, believe me. And I live down here in Beach Grove and Normandy Dam. I heard that they got walleye in there. Can you give me any tips?
There's walleye in there.
Yeah, it's full of walleye. I mean, it depends on if you're fishing out of a boat or on the bank. I like bank.
We're out of a boat.
Well, that'll be more of a daytime deal. You'll be bumping minnows and stuff and bouncing jigs. Now, here's a little difference. When it gets nighttime, you can get on the bank and catch them also. But you got to look during the daytime at the eddies while they're generating to know where to stand at night. A lot of my sauger and walleye fishing I do off the bank, and a lot of it's at nighttime because I don't have the time to get out there in the boat.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm out in boat and I'm out in deep water, then the wall ain't gonna hit. It's more of a shore thing.
Well, they will. Now they're catching them more trolling some lures and stuff, but when it gets dark, they will move up shallower. Daytime, you'll catch them deeper, but when it gets dark is when they start moving up closer to the banks. Their eyes, sauger and walleye eyes, are real hard. The sun's hard on them, so they like to feed at night. Pretty much a little bit better than they do in the daytime.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for the tip, and I love your show.
Thank you very much. Have a great night. All right, another good call.
Yeah,
I'd like to help everybody out, man. Like I say, everybody's excited.
Yeah, man. They've been cabin fever has set in on everybody. I mean, it's just a big deal.
I got to say, I'm always amazed at Dayton's knowledge of all these lakes. He's been around here fishing for so long. He can tell you every spot on every lake around.
Well, he can. You know, I mean,
I've been fortunate enough that that's all I've ever done is fish my whole life. I mean, so that's what I want to pass to my family, because you get away from the beat-up world. You get away from the iPads, the phones. There's nowhere to plug an iPad in unless you bring something, so we're there all day. Pack the lunch
Make
and
sure
go.
that iPad dies
Yeah,
before you're
well,
home,
you
right?
don't take it with you. I mean, you got to have family time.
Let's take another call here. We got Jordan.
People.
Jordan, how are you doing tonight?
Yeah, hi man.
How are you?
Good. How about you?
Doing great.
It's a nature thing, nature place.
What can we help you with, Jordan?
I was wondering if y'all got a fishing boat for sale.
Yeah, I've got one I'll give you if you can catch me at the house. I've got a few.
He's been to your house, hasn't he?
I think he has. I don't know, but I can probably get you one rounded up, buddy. Just let me know.
He
Hit me
tells
up on
everybody
Facebook.
that. Don't believe him, Jordan. He tells everybody that. I've been told that for about 4 or 5 years. You gotta watch him on that.
Oh,
He's
man.
kind of like a hoarder. It's just with fishing stuff only.
Right.
Oh, Lord.
I ain't never seen so many rod and reels in my life.
Need to put a picture of Dayton's tackle room on the show.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's right. He'd have to up
I didn't
security.
anything out.
That's awesome.
Timmy, how are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. I have a question. I was just watching y'all show on TV, and I kind of heard something about Asian carp field. Now, what was they saying? What was y'all saying about that? Because I only caught part of it.
Well, I mean, they've become a serious issue. They have taken over. Like Hunter was talking earlier, when he saw that creek that was just completely full of them, they're starting to cause a major issue. They're taking out a lot of our natural resources from the waters that that are supposed to be there, some of the mussels and things like that.
And plus, they're
causing a danger.
Well, they're taking out the plankton that the shad, and the bluegill and stuff feed on. So, if you'll notice later on in the year, you'll go to Kentucky Lake and go in the mouth of Big Sandy or one of the pockets down there, and there's actually 45 acres of Asian carp just sitting there feeding. And that's what they're doing, is feeding on the plankton that it takes our shad to live. Bluegill depend on it. All kinds of stuff depend on this.
So beginning of the food chain.
When they deplete all of that, then your other fish are going to suffer. So that's one of the big dilemmas. We just got to figure out what to do with the carp, whether we process them, make dog food, or anything, something.
That's right. Thank you for calling. We've got to go over and do this week's tip of the week. This week's tip of the week's been brought to you by our friends over at Davidson Farmers Co-op. You can go down and see them. They're right there on Dickerson Road, about a mile off Riley Parkway, or you can give them a call at 615-860-4774. Dayton, what's our tip of the week this week, buddy?
The tip of the week, buddy, is when you're fishing, I don't care if you're at Priest, Old Hickory, Center Hill, what you're doing, always use a type of scent. Whether you're using a jig with crawdad, like Hoppy's brush bugs, or you're throwing a shad wrap with shad scent or a crankbait, always use any type of scent, whether it's Spike It, Yum, something to take the smell off of that bait. A lot of people don't think about how sensitive a bass is. You can crank a bait by a bass without any attractant and he don't really reflect on it. But if it passes him, his senses can pick that stuff up 2 or 3 feet away. It disperses in the water. So then he will fall actually and chase the bait or be more apt to bite it.
He's also more apt to hang on to it.
That's right, because he has something that's got his senses activated. And it's not just bass, it's crappie, it's catfish, it's everything you fish for. You have to apply a scent.
You know, when you have a real crawdad comes by him, he smells it.
Well, and another prime example, people using crappie niblets. You know, you got crappie jigs. Everybody's got a bottle of niblets, and the man with the niblets will outfish you usually. You know, because the niblets disperse, and when it gets in the water, it really spreads out, and then the crappie are like, well, there it is. So they'll bite that one over the other 3 around it without it on there.
Well, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back here in just a few more minutes with some more Southern Woods and Waters.